Being here today, and I want to thank everyone here, everyone watching on the web. I want to thank the NSA for watching this as well. I want to thank everyone who is participating in this process. So, Mark, you are a privacy and a public interest powerhouse with your Boston roots. And you are the Paul Revere of privacy. You warn us of the threats to freedom and to liberty, one if by landline, two if by cell phone. You are constantly raising the issues that must be raised in this modern era of ubiquitous communications capacity, not just here domestically, but internationally as well. And EPIC is the epitome of excellence when it comes to protecting the privacy rights of all Americans, but particularly the children of America. EPIC really stands for ensuring protection indispensable to children. The business of storing and sifting through the records of grade school students is growing even faster than students themselves. There are positives which can be extracted from this new trend in educational policy by collecting information about students' test results and learning abilities. Teachers may find better ways to educate their students and tailor lessons to increase student achievement. With better data, there's a potential to increase test scores, improve teaching techniques, and better prepare our young scholars for a brighter future. But at the same time, there are perils from a privacy perspective. That's because there is an intrinsically Dickensian quality in the digital world that represents the best of liars and the worst of liars simultaneously. It can ennoble and enrich, or it can degrade and debase. Our job is to imbue this digital ecosystem with America's time-tested values of privacy, respect, fairness, and accessibility for all, regardless of race, income, or disability. I believe that putting students' sensitive information in private hands raises a number of concerns about the privacy rights of parents and their kids who may be as young as 5 years old. The information currently shared by schools extends far beyond just test scores, grades, and attendance. It can include sensitive data such as health, disability, and even criminal and disciplinary information about the child. As a nation, we have already decided that children require extra protections. In 1999, we passed the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA, a bill I authored while in the House of Representatives. COPPA is the communications constitution for safeguarding children online. COPPA makes clear you cannot collect information about children without parental consent. The law puts parents, not profit-seeking companies, in charge. After being elected to the Senate, I reintroduced the Do Not Track Kids Act, which is bipartisan and bicameral legislation that improves COPPA. Our bill is needed for a host of reasons, not the least of which is that it was signed into law way back in the BF era. That's when COPPA was signed, in the BF era, the before Facebook era. Do Not Track Kids Act also extends important protections to 13, 14, and 15-year-olds, age groups COPPA does not currently cover. I am now working with my colleagues in the Senate, including Senator Mark Kirk from Illinois, along with my former colleagues in the House, Joe Barton and Bobby Rush, to make sure this bill becomes the law of the land. This issue is not about Big Brother. It's about Big Mother and Big Father having control over information about their children. In fact, parents should have power over their children's information regardless of whether their kids learn online or inside a classroom. Parents today need the tools to protect their children, not just from the dark corners of the World Wide Web, but also from the whole wide world of businesses that now acquire and analyze information about students. Parents, not private companies, have the right, should have the right, to control personal information about their children. A children's educational record should not be a product to be bought and sold to the highest bidder. And that's why last fall I wrote to Secretary Duncan raising a number of concerns about the dangers posed by the increasing amount of student data that is moving into private hands. The Education Department has responded to my questions, and I am looking forward to further engaging with the department and other stakeholders to ensure that children are protected as data analytics companies increasingly play a role in the educational area. And that's why I am proud to announce today that I plan to introduce legislation in the coming weeks to ensure that we protect our students from information that is shared about them. My bill is guided by the following principles. Number one, student data should never be used for commercial purposes to market products to kids. The goal here is to help scholars make the grade, not help companies make a sale. Two, parents should have the right to access the personal information about their children and amend that information if it is incorrect. That is held by private companies as they would if their data was held by the school itself. We have to make sure that that is the standard. Just as an erroneous charge on a credit report shouldn't prevent someone from getting a loan, a false grade on a report card shouldn't prevent a young person from getting into the college of their choice. Number three, there must be safeguards put in place in order to ensure that there is real protection for the sensitive student data that is transferred to and then held by private companies. In just the past few days, we've learned of breaches at Target and Neiman Marcus that have affected nearly 1/4 of America's population. 4, private companies must delete the information that they no longer need to enhance educational quality for students. Permanent records shouldn't be held permanently by the companies, only by the students and their parents. The time to act is now, before parents lose control of their children's personal information. We can all agree that children have the right to grow up and learn in a safe and secure environment, where strangers can't track or target them. And we can all agree that there is no more important priority than protecting our most precious resource, the children of the United States. We need to build privacy in at the beginning, not wait until after the breaches occur. And we have to do this especially in an area where children are at stake. It's one thing to be talking about Neiman Marcus and Target. It's another thing when the target are the children of our country. We have to, at least in this area, make sure that security is paramount right from the beginning. But we need all to work together to stand up. We actually have an environment now where we can discuss these issues realistically because we can see this massive number of security breaches which are occurring all across the country in places where you would think that there had been a very high premium placed upon security. Neiman Marcus is one area where you would think they could afford to build in those security protections, but that is not the case. So we shouldn't run any risks with the information about the children of our country. I can look out here and see this litany of saints who are attending this event, and we thank all of you for all of the work and all of your different areas that you have contributed over the years. And I want to work with you, Mark, and your entire organization to advance legislation and regulations that really do protect the children of our country. Thank you all so much.